All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to be looking at the period of a sine function, how to put this together with radians and the equations that we had before so that we can understand how to really kind of start to put this all together. So what I want to show you here is just a rabbit population problem. So what I mean by that is, so 0 months, 3 months, 6 months, 9, 12, so on. So in January, the rabbit, times 0, the rabbit population is really low, and then it comes up to a peak in, let's say, the summer, and then it comes back down. Varying reasons why the rabbit population grows between hunting and all sorts of different things. So we don't need to get into that so much, but the idea is this is what it would look like. So if you look at this, what I would suggest doing is take a moment, pause the video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video before I put this up there, but see if you can figure out from this what you think the midline and amplitude of that function would be. So take a minute, pause the video, see if you can figure out what the amplitude and midline of this function. Hopefully you came up with 10,000 and 5,000. 10,000 is in the middle, right, of the 5 and 15,000, and then the amplitude is we are going up and down 5,000 from that middle path of that 10,000. So that's the first piece, is we always want to identify the midline, the amplitude. The second piece is we want to kind of figure out what does this function look like? Which one of these four? Are we dealing with sine or cosine, and how does that work? So this one starts low, goes to a peak, and comes back down, right? So it starts at a low of 5,000, comes to a peak of 15,000, comes back down to 5,000. So if you look, which one of those four, again, take a minute, pause the video, which one of these four do you think would best represent that situation on a graph? You should have chosen this one, because again, like we said, it starts low, goes to a peak, and comes back down. And then it will repeat this. So now that we have an amplitude, a midline, and the idea that we know it's going to be a negative cosine graph, the only thing that we have left to do is to understand how we put in the period of the function into this equation. So we know right now it's a cosine equation. And what we need to do is we need to figure out what the period is. Like, how long does it take to repeat itself? Well, in this case, the period of this function, right, is going to be 12 months. Now notice where this is different than any of the problems we've done, especially the Ferris wheel problems, is it's not in terms of degrees, but in terms of months. So what we are going to have to do for this is convert this, instead of having degrees on the inside, we're going to write it as 2 pi divided by 12. So if we put all that together, the period of the function here is 12. Solve for b, which just means, again, so our b is going to be 2 pi divided by 12. Now let's write the equation of this. So we know what we're going to have to use, this equation, which is what we've used before. This is going to be our midline. This value of a is going to be our amplitude, and then the value of b we just figured out. So we know it's this. We go back and we can fill in from our previous page what our amplitude and midline are, 10,000 to 5,000. So take a minute, see if you can write down the equation, see if you get exactly what I get for this equation, inserting your amplitude, your midline, and your period. And this is what you should have got. Don't forget the negative. Where did the negative come from? Just as a reminder, if we go back here, our graph looked like this. So it was a negative cosine. Because we picked the negative cosine graph, we use cosine to the side. And then again, our amplitude is 5,000, our midline is 10,000, and we do 2 pi divided by 12x in order to get our information here. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to give you a practice problem to try. Good luck, and let me know if you have any questions.